Hey everybody, this is Tom at Talent Guitar Works, and I've got that 36212 double neck on the bench, and I'm starting to wire it back up again. The pickups are all in it, the bridges are on, all the wiring. There's going to be some dots from where those humbucker covers were screwed into the surface. We really can't do anything about that. I could dowel the holes possibly and try and match paint, but this is a 50-year-old electric guitar. So that azure glow paint, even if I had the paint coat, I'm not sure that I would be able to match it with the age. So this is a look at the wiring. This is the broken switch that came off of it. And you see where several lugs are missing. So I replaced it with a new Switchcraft 12015 switch that's really complicated. And believe it or not, there are no wiring diagrams on the internet for this guitar or most of the Rickenbackers. There are schematics that are very hard to read because they don't tell you lugs. That's why I'm holding this photo over this. And I'm going to break it down on what they do and why it's different. Because I had some people tell me, hey, just use the EDS 1275 Gibson diagram and that'll work. So I'm going to sign off for a second and come back on when I have my dry erase board up, and we'll see you then. Hey everybody, this is Tom from Talent Guitar Works. Actually, it's Mr. Whoopi with the 3D BB, one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. So remember I showed you in the video where the Switchcraft 12015 neck selector switch was bad. And what happened was that created jerry-rigging of all the wiring going south to the pickup selector switch in the guitar. So I did this kind of flow chart, and we're going to go over it part by part because nothing exists on the internet to explain any of this. Rickenbacker has a schematic on their website, but not for the double neck, and schematics don't tell us how the pots are wired and all that stuff. So let's go on from there. Now this is an 8-pole switch, and it's labeled A1, A2. It's got a center ground lug, then B2, B1. Then the output lugs are A1, A2, B2, B1. So A1 and A2 input and output are on the south side of this. Or for a right-handed player in the playing position toward the floor, and then anything else is going to be toward your chest, B1 and B2. So neck number 1, A1 is the neck pickup from the 12-string side going to the input here. A2 is the bridge pickup from the 12-string side going to the input here. B1 is the neck pickup from the 6-string side going to the B1 lug. B2 is the bridge pickup going to the B2 lug. So if you throw this switch toward your chest, it activates this neck only. If you move it to the center, it's both necks. If you move it toward the floor, it's the 6-string neck only. So we're good on the inputs. The 12-string inputs go to A1, A2. The 6-string inputs go to B1, B2. The grounds from these pickups can go to the center ground. They could go to the back of the pot. They could go to the plate of the switch if you want. Ground is ground. All right, now we're going to move on, and this is where things get dicey. Now, both neck pickups are on the 1 lug. So A1 and B1 are neck pickups. So those have to go to the south A1 lug of the pickup selector switch. So when that pickup selector switch is thrown up toward your chest, it activates this lug, which are the neck pickups. All right, B2 and A2 have to come to the north side or your chest side of the input for A2 on this pickup selector switch. So when you throw the switch to the down position, only the bridge pickups are engaged. Now with both selector switches in the middle position, everything is hot. And this being a hollow body guitar, if you're sitting close to that amplifier, watch out for reverb. All right. Now, the output. The output lugs are A1 and A2 on the pickup selector switch. A1 runs to lug 2 on the 500 ohm K mix pot. Lug A2 runs to lug 2 on the 330 ohm K bridge volume pot. The neck volume pot, lug 2, runs to lug 1 of the mix volume, or the mix volume pot. All right. Now, lug 1 on both neck and bridge volumes are grounded to the back of the pot. Now, lug 1 is always this first lug, so 1, 2, and 3. If you flip it over, it's still 1, 2, and 3. So lug 1 and lug 1 are grounded. All right. Now, on the newer models, I heard they're 250 ohm K resistant pots. The 330K pots are cool. I got some 300K pots here at the shop. All right, so we got that. Now we can go over to the bass tone and the neck tone pots. Now the center 2 lugs are grounded on these. The first lug on each one is the capacitor. And on the bridge tone pot, the 500 ohm K pot, the 0.047 cap goes to the chest or north side to A2, the input of A2. Lug number 1 here on the neck tone goes to A1 input side of the pickup selector switch. All right, now on this model, both of the bridge grounds go to the back of the neck tone pot. It's because of proximity. It's where they're closest to. All right, so we're good to there. Now somebody had told me about wiring this, like just do it like an EDS 1275. Tom, it'll be simple. Not so simple. The EDS 1275 is Gibson's version of the double neck. It's the SG that Jimmy Page infamously played, and it's wired differently. And Gibson wires their stuff differently. And I'll point out the biggest reason right now, and you can go test it for yourself. Gibson uses coupled volume wiring or parallel wiring with their volumes. So if this switch is in the middle position, and one of these 2 volume pots is set to 0, you have no output signal. It is basically grounded your output signal out, and you get nothing going out of the guitar. Now, I was told that the one Gibson modification that switches or reverses lug 2 and 3 on both tone pots to include the cap will eliminate that. I haven't tried it, so I'm just telling you what I was told. Now, on the Rickenbacker system, these volume pots operate independently because of the way the guitar is wired. There's also a third animal in the mix called this 500K mix knob, which makes Gibson wiring impossible. So, with that being said, why they wired this with the number 2 lug grounded. It's called a voltage division circuit. And basically it's a pot variable resistor that's put in place, and it's, what they say is it reduces the signal to noise ratio, and it provides a clear and stable path for EMI to flow through the pot to ground, because the ground is right next to the signal on this. It's not all the way on the other side. So it also is a frequency control that filters out the high frequency of the treble. So that is why Rickenbacker to this day still does that. Now, the last part of the Rickenbacker system, which also makes the Gibson wiring system impossible, is this little baby here. And that is the Ricco Sound stereo and mono output jacks wiring off of this guitar. That is on the internet. I've never had to rewire one before. This is the second Rickenbacker restoration I'm doing with wiring. The other was the 4000 Rick bass I did 2 years ago. But it's awful hard to find this information online. I don't have it in any of my wiring books. And if they do mention it, they list it as R wiring, like Rickenbacker is going to come soon. I don't know why they would. It's their intellectual property maybe, but people need to know how to repair these things. So if this was helpful to you, let me know in the comments. Only 82% or 82% of the people that watch the channel aren't subscribed. They say that means the channel is supposed to go into a boom or something like that. We'll see. But anyway, this is Tom at Talon Guitar Works. I hope this wasn't as bad as watching paint dry. And if you've got a Rickenbacker double neck that you were worried about finding the wiring from, I hope this helped. And the rest of the wiring is pretty straightforward coming out of it, as far as going from the volume pots to the output jack and so on. So this is Tom at Talon Guitar Works telling you only half my ideas are any good. Hopefully this was one of them.